morning. Again, welcome to our Graduate School Informational Day. Our next segment is going to be a graduate school panel that's comprised of people who work here at the university who are either in graduate school or have their master's degrees or are working on their PhD or working on their master's or have completed their PhD. They have another conference going on here at the campus today, so some of our panelists are running a little bit late because they had previous university engagements, but who we do have here so far is Mr. Cedric Jackson, Dr. Sandeep Chinta Tina, I messed that up. Dr. Sandeep, so we're gonna call him. And we have Ms. Janae Adams and Dr. DeAndrea Rhodes. And I'll let them introduce themselves, and please feel free to ask any questions that you may have. And you all can just start off a little bit about your experiences and some words about words of encouragement for the students. And try to speak in the mics because they're recording this. Thank you. And if you have a question, try to come up here and use the mic. You all can go ahead and get started.
Hello everybody, good morning. I'm Dr. Sandeep Chittalatina, and I am a computer science department. I just joined University of Arkansas Pine Bluff in January, so I'm relatively new here, and I have been here since 4 months now, but I'm teaching just one class, but I'll be teaching more classes in the future. I have finished my graduate school in Texas Tech University, which is in West Texas, the same university I have also completed my master's and PhD in computer science. And it took me quite at least 6-7 years to finish my programs together. But before that, I got my bachelor's degree in computer science as well. And I came to the master's program. The intention was to finish my master's program and just get a job. But then I decided to stay for my PhD and finish it, PhD too. And during my master's program, which lasted about 2 years, I was involved in various taking classes, research, also teaching classes. For example, I was a graduate assistant, so I was grading papers, grading assignments, quizzes from the instructors. So there was I was getting a monthly stipend for that, and also had some tuition waivers which helped me out. And that's what I continue to do throughout my PhD as well. So I can answer any questions related to these or any other questions you may have. All right, thank you.
How you doing? My name is Cedric Jackson. I work in basic academic services. I have my undergrad in criminal justice from UAPB, and I got my master's also in counseling. And currently I'm working on my PhD in counseling studies, and I have 4 more classes left. I've been currently working at the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. This coming up August, it'll be my 5th year, and it's been very interesting. You know, some of the things that I've been doing as far as University College is like a learning process, because I really don't remember those things as far as when I was a freshman coming into school. I didn't have that interaction with the faculty until my junior year. So it's very important to be prepared on the things that you need to know as far as getting out and networking with the instructors and advisors, because you will be surprised on how much information you will need as far as going to graduate school, because it's very important, because it's a lot of paperwork that you need to fill out. You need to have your essays taken care of and so forth. Because the main important thing is once you go out and try to get all these continual ed hours, you will have to pay those loans back. So it's very important to be out, to be able to go network, because you need to be able to get a job, because having all these degrees with no job is saying just like it's basically, you know, a waste. So it's very important. I currently have 18 years experience working with juvenile corrections, because my background is I like to deal with mental health, and that's basically my drive. And it's a big difference between having a job and a career, because the difference with that is, with having a career, that's something you will love to get up and do every day, regardless if you're sick or not. It's not the pay that's going to get you to come to work, it's the drive and the love that you have. Now, we all know that sometimes we might have been in a situation where we have to get a job because we still have bills. But it's very important to try to get as much information as possible. I'm not too much of a talker. You know, I would love to answer any questions that, you know, you would like to have answered. I mean, it's just me, you know, if you're looking for me, we're over currently in the Walker Research Building at University College, Basic Academics, and you're more than welcome to come over and get any information that you need. Thanks.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Come on now, y'all. Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't think the Lord above heard you, so I'm going to say it one more time, and y'all come on, wake up with me now. Have you had your coffee this morning? No? Have you had any caffeine this morning? Miss Rose, you didn't have no coffee or caffeine for the children? Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, okay. I would say that I'm probably the most well-seasoned up here with these wonderful, distinguished gentlemen. Let's give them a round of applause. My name is Dr. Cortez Henderson, and I have a long history of experience in higher ed. A lot of it which started right here at UAPB. I graduated with a BS degree in fashion merchandising, but y'all can't tell that. I don't like clothes, nothing like that. Loved it for a long time. I am a tailorer by trade, so alterations and that kind of stuff was my forte. After which I went to Seattle and lived there for 3 years and decided at that time that the long work hours, once again, the economy was in Reaganomics. We were in a recession in '82, and it really impacted my ability to break into the ceiling of fashion merchandising. But I did have an opportunity to become the seamstress for the Seattle Theater, citywide theater, and so I designed costumes and did a lot of that. Also opened up my own alteration shop there. But I decided I'd come on back home, and when I did that, I met a friend girl here who was working in counseling, and she said to me, "You need to go to graduate school." I said, "I don't want to go to grad school." She said, "Well, you're backing yourself up against an economy where unemployment is high." Sound familiar? Hello? Yes. Sounds familiar. And you don't get as much bang for your buck. Sounds familiar? Y'all pay $3.79 a gallon. When I was in school, it was $2.50. We could ride all day on $5, okay? But anyway, she said, it's time for you to go to grad school. She just finished her master's degree in counseling ed, and she was working in University College. And the recruiter came. Now, I don't know, but I'm sure that you all have had a career day, and you all have had a graduate exposition or something of that nature here, graduate fair maybe? Outside, one on there, wonderful. I would suggest you sit down and talk to him because this is what happened to me, literally. The recruiter came, he said, "What do you want to get your graduate degree in?" I said, "Well, one thing is for certain, I can truly teach sewing, but I feel like I need to have a master's degree in that, you know?" And he said, "Okay, well, we have one of the best economics programs in the country." I said, "Okay, now it's called Family and Consumer Sciences, y'all know that, right?" Okay, so I went on. He said, "How much money would you like to make?" I said, "What?" He said, "Well, we have what's called an assistantship." Really? Yeah. He said, "All you have to do is work 20 hours a week as a research assistant or a teaching assistant, and we pay you for those 20 hours. Really? Yep. Then he said, "Would you like to have a tuition waiver?" Huh? We have a minority scholarship for that too. Really? Mm-hmm. I said, "Well, I have to take GRE, GED, is it GED? No, GRE. He said, "I don't know, what's your GPA?" I said, "Well, it's 2.91. He said, "Well, we can get that later." See, that was the easy days. Now, you can't go to school without taking a GRE. Does anybody go to school without taking one? Anybody know about that? Ms. Rose, Dr. Rose, am I right? Are there any graduate programs out there that you can take?
Right.
It is.
That you don't have to take.
That you don't have to?
Right.
Okay. Well, those programs are the ones you probably want to get into because, as you know, stats say that minority students don't take tests well. Am I correct? Anyway, but I want you to get the one that's going to pay. I'm going to piggyback a little bit when I finish on my story on what Mr. Jackson said. But anyway, he said you want to come to Iowa State with an assistantship for $750. Did y'all hear what I said? That's what's unemployment now. Oh wait, did you hear what I said? Y'all, okay. Well, y'all gonna warm up in a minute. And then he said, we'd like for you to really come because we're strapped for, trying to diversify our student body. I said, okay. So I went to Ames, Iowa to do a master's degree. And I might add, it was one of the most wonderful experiences I've ever had. It was basically because there was a critical mass of us that attended. There were 8 that graduated in my class. At that time, in 1983, 82, it was very few of us attending Iowa State. And then it was a wonderful experience from the mentoring of the faculty. The faculty who was there embraced us to make sure we stayed on course. And then I left, and I had a mentor who said to me, you need to determine what you want to do when you grow up. I said, okay. She said, you need to go get a job. I said, I don't want a job. She said, but you got to have a job, Cortez. I don't want a job. This at the time was 1986, and she said, well, okay. She made one phone call, and I landed at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore as a visiting professor. Did y'all hear what I said? Keyword is network, one call, job. Got me? Okay. I hope y'all writing this down because it ain't real a whole lot, just points, So then, after that, she said, you'll be working with Dr. Walker, an esteemed woman who was in family and consumer sciences at the time. I went there for 1 year. After that 1 year, I knew that I did not want to be a faculty person because I'm more of a programmatic, more of a managerial, administrative, supervisory kind of person. Got that? So that opportunity allowed me to decipher which level of college education that I want to deal with. Y'all got me? So you have to go through those experiences to determine where you want to fit, because the first time you get out there it may not be the fit. And there's no shame in your game to come back and readdress and try again. Okay? Those who do not recognize that is the shame of the game. So we have to get that when you get on to lunch. But anyway. Okay, then as I was driving home from Eastern Shore, Maryland, my major professor that was at Iowa State called me back and said, do you want to come back on a Fulbright scholarship? I said, what'd you say? He said, Fulbright. I said, really? What you paying? He said, well, we have one now that's $15.55. I said, what you say? That's more than unemployment a month. Hello? Okay. So I said to him, how soon do I need to be there? Now I'm driving from Maryland. And it's what? 8 hours into the trip. I get there, get back to Pine Bluff, unload the truck, reload the car, because school starts August 22nd. So I get a PhD, long story short. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience again. I don't know how long I'm supposed to talk, but I have a dog. The other 2 panelists, okay. Okay, well let me get through my stuff, then I'm gonna let y'all have y'all. And then, after that, can I wrap it up in 5 minutes? Okay. And after that, I must say, I went through topsy-turvy trying to find a job with a PhD. So you'll know my story. It's very plain and very clear. I came back to the wonderful UAPB campus and I had to ask the Lord twice when he told me to come back. I said, are you sure? He said, mm-hmm. I said, are you really sure? He said, yes. So I came back And I had a PhD. There were no job openings. I walked into the office of Human Resources, and the only job that was available was a part-time secretary with a PhD. Yeah, the name, okay, you get study, you're home. Okay, so then I said, okay, I just need to get in. So within 6 weeks, a grant was funded by the U.S. Department of TRIO and the Department of Education, and in the division of TRIO. And Dr. Calvin Johnson, who you all have heard will be the interim chancellor, had an opportunity to come and visit with me and gave me the grant and said, I want you to do this. So I was the first director of the Ronald McNair Scholars Program. And I was there for 13 years, Ms. Jones. And in those 13 years, we graduated 232 students with baccalaureate degrees, 52 master's degrees, and 11 PhDs. Y'all give me some dad, come on. Now, the only thing I want to really stress with you is 2 points. Because you are strapped in an economy now that is of such that you don't have to go into debt in student loans if you take the time to research where they are as much as you do when it comes to what you want to buy for a laptop. Did you hear what I said? Technology has our interests because you all are children of technology. And I need you to utilize what the Ronald McNair Scholars Program has over there so you will know where the money is. Okay? Just a couple of them. Jack Kent Cook Fellowship, that's $35,000. It was when I was dealing with it. What is it now, Dr. Rose? About 40. That's to pay you to go to school. Oh, y'all, okay, you catch that at lunch too. Okay, so that's just one of them. So you need to research where the money is too. You need to have in mind, like my colleague said, Mr. Jackson, what your passion is. That's your career. Your job is the one you step in to start your passion. Because all of us need to make a little money doing something legal. Okay? You know what I mean? And I think that the very last thing is mentoring. You gotta have somebody that sees the power in you even when you don't see it in yourself. I had a mentor here, Dr. Phyllis Greenhouse. The building over there, their greenhouse. She was my mentor. She taught my mother and helped raise me, so to speak. And the day of the week of graduation, she said to me as I was walking through my papers for exit, she said, "You're gonna get a PhD." I looked at her and said, "No, I'm not either. I'm trying to get out of here." That's what I thought. And at that time, I had no idea that people could see the productivity in you even when you couldn't see it in yourself. Did y'all feel me on that one? So it was through that vision, it was through the power of the spoken word that the journey began for me to finish my PhD. And to this day, I have now had my PhD for 21 years. And I'm going to say this and I'll be through. There has to also be one solid anchor that allows you to be able to deal with all the adversity, the trials, the tribulations, the setbacks, the triumphs, the joys, the growth sometimes, and that is God. You can call it what you want to. You can call it the universe. You can call it Allah, El Buddha. You can call them whoever you want to. But I implore you all to have an anchor, because life is of such that you will have stormy seas. And you've got to have somebody to catch you. Okay? Hello? Okay, then, hold on, wait. The last thing, when you get out here, when you get out here to find a job, and I'll share this laid up here for you all to see. Market yourself. Market yourself. This is what I call an executive summary. And you need to come by and look at it, check it out. This is when I go out on public speaking engagements. Okay? Then I have a thank you card just like this, so that I can say thank you. Please don't forget to say thank you. And then this is my 17-page vita. And then I have a 6-page vita, because it depends on what it is I'm interviewing for. And then I take my book with them to let them know that I can write. Did you hear what I said? Okay. Now, I'm going to give the mic back to over there to Dr. Rose, and I want you all to know that it has been a joy to be here with you. And I wish all of you Godspeed and good luck in what you're trying to do. Please know that we need you in graduate education. Please know that there are 122 historically black colleges, and 2 or 3 of them now are kind of gone to the wayside. And we're going to need you to help educate the generations to come, like your children, like your grandchildren. Y'all feel me? Have a great one, okay?
Good morning. My name is Dr. Deandra Rose. I serve as the director of the Ronald McNair Scholars Program under the leadership of Dr. Cortez Henderson, who is my boss. And I just finished my doctoral degree from Walden University, which is an online school. It took me approximately 6 years to receive the degree in Doctor of Education, Administrative Leadership. Dr. Henderson was, I guess you could say, my mentor as well. When she started, knew that she was going to leave Ronald McNair, she sat us down and she said, I'm not going to recommend you for this job unless you start getting your doctoral degree. And I again was like, I don't feel like I should go to school to get a doctoral degree. But I knew that I wanted something different, and I knew that I wanted to advance in higher education. And so therefore I did enroll in graduate school to get my doctoral degree. And as a single parent with 2 kids, I can say that it was many long nights, staying up to 4 or 5 in the morning, trying to complete papers, a lot of crying. I can definitely say that. Because I might think I'm an excellent writer, but when your dissertation editor or your chair sends your work back and say, do it over, or this is not a scholarly type of paper, then you have to start from scratch. And sometimes you have to reteach yourself how to write. And a lot of times I find that students write like they speak. And that's something that everyone needs to work on, because they expect your writing to be on a scholarly level. It's something that takes a while to receive your doctoral degree or your master's degree, but it's well worth it once you receive it. It's an accomplishment, and it's not easy, but you can do it. All of you can do it in here, and you need to do it.
Good morning. My name is Janae Adams. I work in the chemistry and physics department. First of all, I want to start out by saying, just like a couple of the people up here said, going further in education wasn't my plan from the beginning. When I was here for undergrad, I got a degree, a BS in chemistry, and my whole life I heard, you need to get your college degree, and you can get a good job, you can do this, you can do that. So when I was here, I I did everything I could to get the university, of course, to pay for my education, and I finished in 3.5 years. And I thought that was a great accomplishment, and I was like, yes, I can go out here and get a job and live my life and just be done. But when I left here, I moved to Jefferson City, Missouri, and I started a job search. I went with nothing but the stuff in my car, a deposit on an apartment, and the hope and grace of God to see what was going to happen, because I was like, I need to see what I need to do for myself to go further. When I got there, I couldn't find a job, even with the bachelor's degree. I couldn't find a job. So I struggled, sort of, kind of. And I eventually, like they were saying, you need to network with everybody you can. You never know what little information someone can give you that can take you to the next level. So basically, I was working through a temp service at a sports medicine center, and I spoke to people that I was under. And they were like, you have a degree in chemistry? They referred me to, they made one phone call to a hospital that day, and 2 weeks later, I had a job working in the lab. And then eventually, as I sat up there by myself and thought about it, I said, I do need something better to help me go further. So I actually applied at Jackson State University, probably July 21st, 2006. And we know school starts when? In August. When I tell you I took the GRE fast, I turned everything in. Even though it was past the university's deadline, sometimes you have to make the phone calls necessary. You have to call department chairs, try to contact anyone you can that can try to help you get in. So basically, I got in with a month left. I quit my job August 18th. I was in Jackson, Mississippi, which is 10 hours away from Jefferson City, Missouri, in 2 days. I already moved back in the dorm, everything. And it's just one glitch in my story that's different from everybody else's story up here. I went to grad school. I lived on campus. I had the stipend, $1,000 a month to do research. I had my tuition paid for. But to honestly tell you the truth, I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't mentally ready to be in school. I did what most students here do today. I went to class when I wanted to. I felt like I could do the things I did in undergrad and still get by. No ma'ams, no sirs. I'm gonna be honest with you. After that first year, I made a C. They didn't put me on probation. They put me out. Then I had to think to myself, I'm in Mississippi, away from my parents, and I don't want to feel like a failure. So I did the next best thing I could do. I enrolled at Belhaven College. I went there for a year. I paid out of pocket. Technically, long story short, I ended up going back to Jackson State a 1.5 years later to continue working on my degree, and I finished in a 1.5 years. The quickest of any student that had ever been in that program. I have a Master's of Science in Teaching with emphasis on science education and math education. And most people usually go to grad school maybe longer than that for one degree or one emphasis, but I have 2. So now, my next biggest thing from working here 2 years, I want to get a doctorate degree and be like people like Ms. Rhodes that mentor me. But I'm going to tell you one thing. I am striving to go to school this fall, to do better. But the last thing I'm going to leave you with is this. In our society, everybody wants to be successful. But you have to think about this. There's a difference between being successful and being great. There are people out here, let's just use the music industry. Just because they made one single that blew up, that makes them what? Successful. But you know what? That doesn't mean they're great. But there are many great people out here that just because they don't have that great success that we see, they are great at what they do. So when you go further to strive to get your master's or your PhD, you need to make sure you're striving for yourself to be great. And if you become successful, that's fine. But being great means that you're basically accomplishing what you want on the inside. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Ralph Owens. I'm Associate Dean of Students for Activities here on the campus. I just want to talk about graduate school real quick. When I was in school here, I graduated in 4 years, and after graduation, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And I had parents, that's one good thing I can say, that decided that I was going to go to graduate school, so I went to graduate school. The first semester, my parents paid for it. The first semester. The first semester. After the first semester, I started paying for it because the first semester I withdrew, probably in November. Grades weren't good. Didn't really want to be there. Just went because that's what my parents wanted me to do. But I realized one thing. It took me probably the rest of November and December. I sat down and I did some soul searching. And I asked myself, what is it that you really want to do in life? Do you want to be successful or do you want to be a failure? So I decided over the Christmas holiday I was going to be successful. And so I went back, got a loan to go to school, and didn't look back. Started making better grades, made A's and B's the whole time I was there because my focus was there. I realized that it wasn't for my parents, it was for me. It was for me to be successful. And so that's what you all have to do. You all have to decide that success is inside of you. It's not your parents, it's not your teacher, it's not your mentor. It's good to have those. But it has to come from inside of you. You have to be the one who wants to do that. And so I learned that. And so in 2 years, I graduated from University of Arkansas at Little Rock with a master's degree in criminal justice. And so I said, well, what's next? So I applied for jobs all over the United States. You know how you do. FBI, CIA, everybody want to be those. And I kept getting these rejection letters. You don't have enough experience, you don't have any experience. And so I talked to my college professor here on campus. And he said that, well, the best thing for you to do is come back and get some experience and start teaching. So I came back and started teaching on the campus in the criminal justice department, which it was great. But then I decided, one day I woke up and I said, well, you know, that's not really what I want to do. And so I talked to, at that time, the Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs, Dr. Bobby Irving, and I asked her, I said, you know, I would like to work with students. And so at that time, I had a position over there in the student union. And that's where I am now, working with students. And that's where I have been ever since. And so Dr. Henderson, I used to go over there to the McNair building quite a bit. She said, when you go back to school? Every time I would go to the McNair building, Dr. Henderson would ask me, when you go back to school? And I know she probably asked me that for about 8 years. I was like, I don't want to go back to school. So, my current boss, Mrs. W. Burr, asked me, she said, don't you want to go back to school? I said, no, I don't want to go back to school. And it made sense what Dr. Henderson had said and what Dean Burr had said. If you're going to be in an area that you're working in, you need to be the best at it. And so I decided to enroll in some doctoral classes at University of Arkansas in Little Rock, and that's what I'm doing now. This summer, this summer, matter of fact, in May, I'm getting ready to take a GRE. And this summer, I'm going to apply for the program in Student Affairs Administration and have to do my interview this summer. I have already taken classes, so far I have made an A and a B, and hopefully I get an A out of this class that I'm taking this semester, and I plan on taking 6 hours this summer. So you can do it. It's all about what you have inside of you, your heart. If you have God on your side, if that's what you believe in, He will order your steps, He will set your path. But you have to believe in yourself. No one can believe in you, but you have to believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself that you can do it, it's just like that little train that was trying to make it up the hill. I think I can. If I make it to the top, you can make it to the top. And once you make it to the top, then you'll be successful. Thank you.
Okay, now we'll take questions from the audience. If you'll come up to the microphone and ask your questions pertaining to graduate school, the graduate school process. If you would like to know anything that we personally went through to try to finish or attend graduate school. And I know you have some questions up there, so.
If they don't, I got some talking.
I will start calling, Michael Thomas, please come up and ask the question. Dexter Miles, Sheila Oni. Trey King, our new scholars.
Okay, the question that I would have for all of you all would be, excuse me, I'm a little sick, so. The relationship with you all's faculty, what were they at the time, mentors? How, I mean, of course you guys completed, but how was your relationship with them always steady, or were there some ups and downs and, you know, pull back and forth shipping relationships?
How you doing, Mr. Jackson? I'll start with that one. My relationship was great. As I can see, Mr. Owens, we all grew up together, and also he was one of my instructors. So with him and Mr. Ronald McNair, they was a very inspiration to my direction as far as my education, because I graduated undergrad, just like some of my colleagues said, I didn't even want to go to grad school. I didn't have grad school in my mind, but what happened within my circle, my peers went along with the education. So I can really say that it was very informative. I mean, and also too, the reason why it's important to network, you will be surprised on the smallest information you can get on how much it can heighten your lifestyle. I mean, as far as knowing what direction you want to go to and just whatever. And just like I say, I mean, keep in contact with your instructors, because just like I say, regardless of the report me and Mr. Owens had before the education ride, I mean, we still have that bond. So it was very informative to me.
I think it's very important to understand that there are 3 types of mentors. There's a social mentor, one that takes you out to dinner, that introduces you to individuals that may be running their circle. There's a personal mentor, one that will tell you the truth even when it hurts and you don't want to hear it. Then there's a professional mentor, one that tells you the ropes that were not told to them as they were climbing the ladder of success. Did y'all get that? So they all have different degrees of influence, but all of them at the end of the day makes you a more satisfied intellectual from the perspective that you grow in each of those areas. I just have been fortunate to have personal and professional mentors. Dr. Greenhouse is a good example. She taught my mother, okay? So she knew when I was born, all right? So I became her babysitter, okay? And then when I graduated high school, I came out here. Well, being that I was in fashion merchandising, and she was the chair over the home economics department, what you got? All my life, okay? And because I was from Pine Bluff, the majority of the faculty, as well at that time, all of the presidents, knew my family very well because my grandmother was a caterer here in town. So everybody kind of knew me more so than I knew them. So that name was already there. But when I left to go to Iowa, you have to find the critical mass of faculty people who genuinely care about your concerns. There were a couple of things I used to tell the scholars: chase the fat rabbit. One is meaning that if you need today, okay, yesterday, if you need $60 to fill up your tank with some gas, you need a fat rabbit. You need somebody that you can go to and ask, can I borrow $60 until my refund comes, to my check? Y'all hear what I'm saying to you? Do I get some amens from the audience? Okay. You need also to learn in mentoring, don't sweat the small stuff. Because when my mentor would get in my butt about anything that I didn't do right, sometimes I'd pout and have a tooth. Get over it. Just really get over it. And the last thing that I want to say about mentoring is that everybody at the table has somewhat talked about success, and everyone has talked about great. But I need you to understand that when you go through life and you have a plan, follow your plan. However, always note that plans are made to be broken. Mr. Owens attests to that. The young lady attests to it next to him. So what I'm saying to you is that once you receive that, the journey doesn't stop when you get the degree. It's another journey beginning again. So just know that mentoring is the common thread that holds you together throughout this whole entire thing called life. Because you gotta have people that support you.
I just have a small comment to make on what you asked. Basically, piggybacking on what Mr. Jackson said, networking is also great. You never know what someone can help you with. I know with my classes or my students, I always tell them, you know, if you have a problem or you have anything you need to discuss, you need to let me know, because if I don't know, I may know someone else that knows, or someone else that knows. In my experience through grad school, I know when I was here, my boss, Dr. Rice, was my advisor. But what I can tell you now, as a mentor then, he wanted me to, like, now advisement. I would go in there and tell him, I know I'm going to take this class right now. I'm sorry. I may not have this prerequisite, but I know I can do it. He had the faith in me to be like, okay, yes, go ahead and do it. But now, being back as a faculty member, I can tell you this more than anything else. He pushes me more than anyone else around me does. And yes, I want it for myself, but I also want it because someone else behind me that has seen me through my entire path, ups and downs and all, is behind me 100%. Because when I was gone to grad school or in between, when I had questions, comments, or concerns, that would be the first person I would call. Just like the advisor I had at Jackson State, when I did get dismissed, she was the one that helped me to get into the different programs to help me link further, because she knew there was something else in me. There may have been a downfall that set me back, but a setback is a setup for a comeback. Thank you.
Real quick, I had one of your UD, her name was Miss Dana Mazee. She challenged me every day. And so I just built a relationship with her because I knew that she wanted me to be the best that I could be. And I remember one time in her class, she told me, she said, it doesn't matter, Mr. Owens, if you have an A. If you don't get up in front of this class and talk, you will get an F. Like, wow, for real? She said, for real. And so I asked some of my classmates, I said, is she for real? They said, yes. So I didn't like to talk. And so that day started a long line of something that I appreciate, because now I can get up in front of people and I can get in front of you all and talk, man, that I wouldn't do this back then. So she helped me. In my graduate school chair, when I wanted to quit, when I did, I withdrew. She called me to her office. She called me at home. And she said, I need you to come see me this week. So I went and I talked to her. She said, let me tell you something. She said, I see something in you great. And she said, just because you had a bad first semester doesn't mean that you're going to have a bad career here at this institution. She said, I'm going to help you. And from that day, she and I still talk now. And she told me then, when I was, it's so crazy. She told me when I was in graduate school, she said, you need to get a doctorate degree in education. I see that in you. She told me that then. This was in 94, 95. Yeah, so a mentor is a person who will tell you the truth when you don't even want to hear it, or when it hurts. That's a mentor. A person that's going to sugarcoat it, you need to leave them alone.
My question is, growing up, I've always had to do what, I never really had my own mind. And my first own choice decision was coming to college. My parents wanted me to go to the Air Force, and when I was younger, they said that I had a learning disability, and I graduated high school with a 3.5, and I'm in college, I have a 2.9, I got to get my GPA a little bit higher, but, that's a big accomplishment for me. All my scholarships that I've gotten, and it seems like I've never really had support from my family. And it's kind of like now, this semester, I'm at a crossroads. I don't know if I still want to stay in school. I don't know what I want to do right now. And I'm asking, from y'all's perspective, what would be the best solution? Because I have no, that's how I feel at times. I honestly do. I've never had a mentor. I never really just talked to my friends about my personal problems. And that's just how I am. Personal business, personal business. So, that's all.
I'm a mentor. Hold on. Let me fix this for you right now, baby.
Well, while you fixing that,
Okay.
I won't talk.
Here's your first mentor call.
Well, I'm your second. You see your first, I'm your second. Let me explain something to you. You're no different than anybody else. We've said where you are. We had the same feelings you have now. All you have to do is just figure out what it is that you want to do. And how you do that is, you see Dr. Henderson, you see me. You see her, you see her. You understand what I'm saying? And you come talk to us, and we can help guide you. This is your family right here. You true enough, that's your family at home. But while you're here, we're your family. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to support you in whatever you want to do, and we're going to assist you in whichever way you want to go. But you have to ask. See, you say you never went to anybody, you never talked to anybody, you never had a mentor. Well, you have several of them right here in front of you. We'll help you, okay? We'll help you. That's one thing, I want to say this real quick. That's one thing that I forgot to say. Before you go to a graduate school program, see if you can go shadow it to see what it's like. Because if you go and shadow the program, then you already know what you need to do in order to be successful. See, that's what I'm doing now. See, I'm not in the program. I'm taking what? Courses. Because I'm trying to shadow the program so I know when I get in the program what it is I need to do in order to graduate in the program. Okay? So, hey, just come talk to me. I help you. Believe me, I will help you. Okay?
I just have a small statement. I kind of understand where you're coming from. I'm an only child, but what I learned when I was in Missouri, I was by myself. I had never been that far away from home with nobody with me. One night, I had to sit there and think to myself, my whole life, I am being like very transverse or very versatile. I would be this for one person, this for the next person. I'm doing this for that person and this for that person, which I totally understand. So when I made that decision to go to grad school, that day when I was sitting there by myself, I had to understand, like you said, this is a decision I made for myself. But one thing you also have to realize is I understand personal business is personal business, but sometimes along the way, you have to at least open up to one person, or at least allow one person to know what's going on. Because if somebody doesn't know, there's someone that can be there for you. And like I said, like I tell all my students, you need to talk to me, come talk to me. I may not be the best mentor, but the thing is, I can try my best to do what I can for you. So if you need any help, you know where to find me.
But I just want to piggyback off that, especially in the McNair office, we offer academic advising, but we also offer personal advisement as well, because we understand that students have a lot of problems and they need someone to talk to, especially if they're not from the Pine Bluff area and they don't know who to talk to or who to network. So we like to help all of our students, and UAPB is a family, and like Ralph said, all of us up here are willing to help our students succeed because we want you to obtain a bachelor's degree. And we want you to go tell other people, hey, I didn't know if I was going to make it, but Mr. Ralph Owens, he was the one that told me, hey, I'm gonna help you succeed. One thing about it, I had a student who is a scholar come to my office the other day and said that his friends think that he is better than anybody else because he comes from that background where the friends are selling drugs, are in gangs and things like that, and he's trying to make a difference because he's the first in his family to go to school. But the friends that he associates with right now are saying, man, you think you all there because you're in college and things like that. But what my advice to him was, you have to look out for yourself. And no matter what they say, you obtain your bachelor's degree. And then if you want to make a difference, go back to the community and do things in your community to show them, hey, I'm still part of my community. Just because I have a bachelor's degree doesn't mean that I'm not part of the community. So anytime that you have a problem, you need guidance, like I said, talk to anybody up here. We're here to help you as a student, to mentor you, to make sure that you go beyond the college, that you go beyond and see your bachelor's degree, your graduate degree, and hopefully your PhD. And never feel that you're by yourself, because you're not. Okay?
Can I talk? I want to say one thing. Do you all need me on a microphone?
We got it.
Let me say this to you all, is that, do you need me on the mic right there? Okay. It is very, it is very important for you to understand that you have to make your own decisions. You have to step out on faith. First, you gotta understand what faith is. It is the evidence of things that are what? Not seen. And the what? I can hear you. And the things that are hoped for. So you have to define that for yourself. That's number one. Number two, there are going to be some rocks and some blocks and some mountains in the way. Don't think that for 1 minute that you're going to do this in a smooth fashion. Always know that when there's a rock or a stumble or a lodge or even a mountain in the way, it's just laying on the side for you to walk over it. Did you get what I said? The third thing, you cannot give credit where credit is not due. In other words, you have to believe in yourself. Because when it's over with, like Booker T and Frederick Douglass said, you're going to have to tote your own barrel of milk, baby. And as my grandma would say, every barrel must stand on its bottom. So at the end of the day, you're going to have to be responsible for your own self and your own actions and your own decisions. Being a private person has its good points and its bad points. But let me tell you something. You've got to learn that when things happen to us and we continue to carry it with us, it loads us down and it stops us from moving forward. In other words, you block all blessings that possibly could come your way because you should have told somebody else the stuff that they did to you 10 years ago. That's called forgiveness. So you have to forgive it and you have to forget it. You have people say, I ain't gonna forget it though. Well, it's a lesson learned, like Alicia Keys said. Chop it up, you know? But you've got to be able to communicate to someone what's going on with you. I'll give you an example and then I'll be through. As McNair director for 13 years, I had many students that came to me for money for the iron, because the iron got broke and they ain't had no money for that. Gas money, grocery money. We had a student whose mother had been fatally shot. She didn't have a ticket to get home. You remember Miss Dr. Rose? Didn't have a ticket to get to Houston. And she came to our staff and said, I want to go home, but I don't have any money. We got to tap some money to go home. Then I had one that was a little bit more personal. I had a student that was just told so, and this is, I'm going to get the doctor in a minute. Dr. Rose, I'm going to get her. She was such a beautiful and vibrant young lady, and she came in and she was kind of dragging, and it was like the clouds was walking with her. If you can recall Charlie Brown, the character Linus, when he walks with his dirty blanket, there's a little puff of cloud, dirt walking around with him. Well, she was kind of walking that way, and I'm like, what's up with that? And Dr. Rose can tell you, I can read students very well. I've been in this business long enough to know when you're lying to me, when you tell me the truth, when you're trying to run game on me, and all that great stuff. Anyway, I said, what's going on, baby? Nothing. I said, something's happening. I said, you're withdrawn, you're sad, you don't have that spark that you usually do. So what's up? Nothing. I said, I'll tell you what then. Since nothing's up, why don't you sit there till your time is up for you to tell me why you're looking the way you're looking? And then she busted out, started crying. I'm like, oh my God. And Miss Dr. Rose can tell you, I always kept a box of what on my tissue. Puffs, to be exact. Because every now and then you need to understand something. Nothing grows without water. Some of y'all catch that when you get some lunch. Think about that. Nothing grows without water. So you got to release it to grow. Don't hold it in, baby. Let it go. Long story short, she said, I had an abortion this weekend. So my point in telling you this is that we all go through life. We all have stuff that happens to us. But we have to learn who to take the stuff to, who to talk to about the stuff, how to dig a little hole in the ground, and if you need to have a ceremony, bury the stuff. Walk away. You want to come back, put a little tombstone on the front of it and say, this is when I wrecked my car, my parents were so mad at me. Put that right there, but leave it there. Don't take it with you. Let it go. And move on, baby. I'm going to say one last thing. We can have all these models, plans about what we're going to do, and you should do it now. Because this is the time of your life when you start making your plans. Well, once you hit 30, I just got to tell you this. Once you hit 30, life becomes different from the glasses. Because from 20 to 30 is the time of life that you make the mistakes so that you can grow, so that you will have some 40s. 40s to 50s is that turbulent time when you're really trying to figure out what you did when you was 20 and 30 to get you to where you are now. And 50 will hit you and say, my Lord, you are my rock and my strength. I shall not be afraid. But start now so that your journey won't be a bad one and that you will be able to grow from it. Okay? All right.
We have time for one more question.
Hello, I'm Detrez King, and my question is, what did y'all do to prepare for the GRE and the transition from undergrad bachelor's degree to getting a master's degree?
One thing that I can just say to prepare for the GRE, take advantage of the things that the university offers, like the Ronald McNair Scholars Program. We're offering the free GRE prep today from 1 to 3, the GRE practice test. Take advantage of these services that the university is trying to offer to our students to make sure that they are well prepared for graduate school. And then also, although we can only take 25 students in the Ronald McNair Scholars Program as a total, we try to help our students prepare by doing empirical research, advisement, as far as financial aid, how to present your research, how to plot your research, how to network by working with a faculty mentor to prepare you to network with faculty mentors at the graduate school level. But in turn, we also try to do things like this, where we open it up to the campus for students who might not make it to the Ronald McNair program, but are interested in graduate school. That's why we have the graduate school panel. That's why we had Dr. Cedric Rice speak this morning about the personal statement, and that's why we're doing the GRE practice test. But I can put it out there as much as I want to, because we did for 2 or 3 months. But our students have to take advantage of this situation. And I think that's the thing that we're not teaching, I don't want to say teaching our students, but they're not taking advantage of the things that our school has to offer. But they'll be the first one to complain that we're not providing these services, and we are because we do care. And so we're just going to try to work a little harder to put it out there, because when I see a student and I say, well, what are you doing after you I'm going to graduate school? Okay, so what steps have you taken to prepare you? I don't know yet, I'm just looking at some schools. And we offer our services. I said, well, stop out the McNair office, we'll help you. Even though you're not in the program, let me look at your personal statement. Let me look at your application, make sure that everything's okay. Come look at the book that we have that's for African American students. They have scholarships and internships just for African American students to go to different universities. But you have to take advantage of the situation and the services that the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff is trying to provide to our students.
Personally, for preparation for GRE, they ask you to take the GRE because they want to see if you're good at problem solving. Okay, that's the motivation, that's the main reason. Especially in your graduate school, you're supposed to be involved in problem solving, analytical skills, verbal skills, because you're going to be writing papers. So for each of these sections that you have, verbal, analytical, right now is essay, and math portions, the way to prepare for this would be to, I recommend is to solve puzzles. Look at your Sunday newspaper, solve verbal puzzles, crossword puzzles, improve your vocabulary. That's the best way to train your brain all the time. You just do it for fun, entertain your brain, get used to it. You're going to take hours to solve problems in the beginning, but once you train your brain enough times, you'll be able to, your brain will be used to solving problems, and then when you come to the test, you'll be better prepared. And I will solve problems from time to time, keep my brain active, even though I don't have to take GR anymore. But at that time, I wish someone told me that, because I made a better score maybe. But that's what I think is, you have to keep your active brain and prepare yourself for the test. And coming to other things, for example, applications and things like that, it was totally more self-done, because I had, me and my friends got together and we got the applications to the universities, different universities, and we got the statements, everything written together, and we actually proofread each other's papers. We didn't have any office like here in the UAPB that we have. So you guys should take advantage of all the services that they offer. And we also, you need to look at letters of recommendation. You have to have a good set of people who you know you have taken classes with, and try to get good letters of recommendation. Don't take classes from professors who you have not done well with, okay? So I good suggestion is take recommendations from people who really know, and use those recommendations to get into graduate school. And that's it, and keep working, that's it.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
I'm gonna keep it brief. Well, that's all. Well, real quick, what I've learned over my time here, second year scholar McNair, Dexter Lyles is my name. They have actually apps on these smartphones nowadays where you can actually go in and it'll do the puzzle like he was saying. You can learn new words, you can do mathematics. Some of it's free. You can register for the practice GRE Kaplan like me and a lot of my cohorts are doing, and that'll keep you up to date. And also with Kaplan, you can also apply for what they call a question a day, where they'll send you an email telling you to answer this question or that question, and it'll keep you continuously abreast on what's going on with the test. And that's it. That's all I got.
Thank you.
I just want to close out on a good note in terms of my entire journey to this point in my life. I failed to mention that I did get a PhD in student affairs, student personnel development. My aspirations at the time was to be a vice president of student affairs. God not only allowed me to do that one time, He allowed me to do it twice. Y'all not hear what I'm saying. So I don't know what He has now in store for me. My mother is a victim of Alzheimer's, and I quit my last job, which was Arkansas Baptist, as their VP of Student Affairs, to come back to Pine Bluff and take care of my mother. But I want you to know that I still know my talents. I still know my passion. I still know that you all are very important to the scheme of things that make my life worthy. So I want to share with you a poem that I often do when I travel to speak. And also I want to say to you that when you have a PhD, you're never unemployed. Did you hear what I said? Mm-hmm. Because you got enough up here, as the brother was saying, to problem solve, critically think through a situation, provide a solution for the situation, and act upon that situation. My skill is writing and speaking. So am I gonna be broke?
Never.
Okay. So I'm gonna read this to you sometimes and then I'll give it over to Ms. Keller. Is that okay?
That's fine.
All right. It's entitled Journey So Far. Journey So Far. It's been a marvelous journey so far. We've had to kick some fairly large stones from the road and often maneuver a sharp turn here and there. And even back way up to start again when the pathway was hard to discern. Oh, but it's been a marvelous journey so far. Sometimes we've been forced from the road to let some of others pass by us and had to sit on the side of the road with our heads down so folks wouldn't see us cry. But it's been a marvelous journey so far. Because since we started this life, God has been traveling with us each day. So we've been able to explore and venture to the edge, yet still find our way. When we've fallen, we've gotten up again because God had been right above. Yes, we've had joy in our travels and even found folks we could love. So yes, it's been a journey, a marvelous journey so far. Now we've gotten rid of some baggage, so we're traveling light, and we've learned to read directions to find the path that is right. Our journey ahead is still considerably strong. We know, but if we keep God as our compass, we'll know which way to run, because it's been a marvelous journey so far. Thank you.
Let's give our panelists a round of applause. Again, thank you all so much for coming out and taking time out of your busy schedule to speak with us and speak with our students today about your experiences. And I just encourage you all to not just listen to this, but really take what they had to say and their advice and take it and do something with it. Don't just leave out here with your notes and never look at it again. All these people are professionals who have worked hard and made sacrifices in their life, and it's all going to pay off, and all has paid off. So again, thank you all, and that is it for our panel today.